Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashema Mashiach Wamadak Yabushah. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shah is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ultimately calls Jesus Christ. I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men that go out there and labor, man, that present their bodies as a living sacrifice, waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel, enduring all things, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and most importantly, everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Last but not, another strong shalom to the mighty Aqua, the sisters that are at home, reverence to their husbands, being teachers of good things, tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High in the homes. And another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and the children as well that's in the truth, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in the last days. Right, and the topic of this video is, what if this was your last week in the truth? Right, the topic of this video is, what if this was your last week in the truth? Would you still be slothful? That's the topic, man. Now, you gotta have, in this truth, you gotta have an imagination. So you actually have to imagine, what if the Lord just came to you in a dream by night or a vision and said, you know what, next week, you're not going to make it. I'm going to take this spirit from you and it's going to depart. And you will no longer have the knowledge of the Most High. Now, with that being said, how many brothers and sisters will literally wake up out of their sleep and just start praying and being on fire? Because that's what's gonna happen. If the Lord told you this was your last week, a lot of men and women, they'll be going as hard. They'll be literally sweating from as hard as they going in the work of the Most High. Via reading, you'll probably read like you never read before. I mean, let's just be honest. Your last week, you got 7 days, and that's it. You will be reading as much as you can. You would definitely be studying. You'll be praying as much as you can. I hope so. You'll be fasting. What else? Man, you will be teaching as much as you can. It's so much things you will be doing if the Lord told you this was your last week. And you got a lot of slothful, lazy men, not diligent men and women that's just doing nothing. I mean, you just literally being flat out lukewarm. You being slothful. You drifting off. You know you're supposed to be doing better. It's in the back of your conscience. You're not supposed to be doing it. But you do it anyway. I seen this brother on IG. He was an Israelite. The brother getting tattoos now, man. So you got a lot of lazy and slothful men and women in the last days. And the Lord is cutting people down. You have to ask yourself, what if this was your last week in the truth? How on fire would you literally be? Let me kick it off with the book of James, right? Let me kick it off with the book of James, the 4th chapter. Because a lot of women, a lot of men and women, you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know you're not supposed to be binge watching a TV show all day. You know you're not supposed to be doing God knows what, scrolling on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What else? You just always at work, getting caught up in the NBA. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it. That's causing you to be slothful. That's causing you to be lukewarm. You're not praying enough. You're lazy. Let me bring this out in James chapter 4. This James chapter 4. If this is your last weekend in your truth, a lot of men, they'll pass out from being so on fire. If this was your last week in the truth. Every week you should be operating like it's your last week in the truth. I don't know if I'm going to see next week, man. I'm going to just be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna see the week, and from 2 months from now, I don't know if I'm gonna see next year. I can't even imagine myself 3 years from now. Every day you should be acting like it's your last week. Because when the Lord take the spirit from you due to your lukewarmness, and you not abounding and going hard as you, and you know when you're not going hard. We just gonna be honest. You feel it. The Lord is gonna cut you down. This is the book of James, chapter 4, and verse number 17. It says, therefore, to him that knoweth to do good. You might know to do good. You might know that you have to get reading in, studying in, watch the videos, fast. And a lot of women, they don't even fast in the truth. You an Israelite, you an Israelite man, you fast one time, and that's it. One time every 2 weeks. You got certain brothers, they don't even fast. They fasting one time in a week. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to have the Lord come down and hold your hand. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You got certain brothers, they don't call up on it, they don't check up on their brothers. They just damn zoned out on a YouTube on their phone, watching highlights and Netflix videos. It says, therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not. Because you're always going to have the spirit. If you're in the truth, you always going to have the spirit tell you, nah, that's wrong. Don't do it. Now, you might say, well, hold on. Yeah, I do get that spirit. But, it's the other spirit saying, do it. It don't matter. Everybody, if you're at least in the truth, you got that little tiny spirit saying, this is off. This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be doing this. So you know what you're supposed to be doing. It says, therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, you say, you know what? This is not actually that bad. This is not gonna harm me. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it that day. I'll do that this day. It says, to him it is sin. See that? So the Lord said, if you know better and you don't do better, you're going off. You're in transgression. You're in iniquity. But you could get caught up at your job, though, pulling 12-hour shifts like it's nothing. You can sit on the couch all day like it's nothing. You could scroll on your phone all day like it's nothing. A lot of you men and women, you need a reality check. That's what you need. You need a question like, what if it was your last week in the truth? Literally. I mean, literally. And brothers, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, some brothers told me, hey, they thought they was finna die. Guess what? They said they was burning. They proclaimed a damn fast 3 times that week. They was praying without ceasing. They was in the spirit, just on fire. Then they said, they didn't really thought they would die. They were still alive that following week. Next they start getting back relaxed. So brothers and sisters, you have to get out of this mode of slothfulness and lukewarmness. Why? Because that spirit is only going to increase in the last days. Eventually, you're going to fall out or you're going to die by the hand of the Lord. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Right? And the Lord, he got to do reality checks, man. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse number 18. It says, by much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. The Lord said, by much slothfulness the building decayeth. If you're in this truth, you're a part of help building the temple. I don't care if you're a woman, a child, a man. You can help dedicate to build to the spiritual temple, which are the Israelites. It says, And through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through. A lot of men, you have idle hands. You don't pick up your Bible. I mean, hey, if you were a sister, what was the last time you fast? I know certain sisters, they don't want to fast at all. They don't fast, they don't want to fast. They pray 2 times the whole day. The day go by, it's only 2 prayers been thrown up. All they do is just scrolling on their damn phone. Just scrolling. I mean, you don't think the Lord is going to get up with you for that? You don't think the Lord is going to judge you speedily? A lot of men, a lot of women, you got to stop playing with the Most High. The Lord will judge you. Why? Because you know better. You're not spending your time wisely. You get home, you have a set schedule, but you're not executing it. You making excuses. You just eating. You just eating a lot. Just eating. I'm going to read that again. It says, by much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. And the Lord is not dealing with idleness. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 33. And then you wonder why are you going off. You just going off. You going back smoking weed. What else? You going back down freaking off. You hitting up that woman back in the world. You being lustful. I mean, you're idle. What do you expect? You don't pray. You pray one time, you get tempted, then you pray one time, you want that to go away. Then you just caught out there. What you're gonna learn in this truth, you have to have diligence and consistency. A lot of men, you're not consistent. That's why you slothful. Let's bring this out in Sirach chapter 33. Right? Like I said, you got brothers posting on Instagram, them and the truth getting tattoos, literally. This is Sirach chapter 33 and verse number 27. Now this is in context talking about a servant. Nevertheless, it says, send him to labor that he be not idle. For idleness teacheth much evil. You cannot be idle, man. Right? Idleness is going to teach you evilness. It's going to have you wax lukewarm. A lot of women, you lukewarm, man. You still hanging out with sisters in the world. A lot of women, you lukewarm, man. You still hanging out with sisters in the world. When are you going to get it together? When are you going to do a whole... You're going to get it together. When are you going to do a whole 360? Not a really not a whole 360. When are you going to do a 180 turn, man? A lot of people doing a 90-degree angle. A acute angle, which is 30 degrees. When are you going to get it together? This could be your last week. This really could be your last day, man. Right, let's go to the book of Proverbs. Right, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19. And I want verse number 15. Proverbs chapter... It's no excuses. Right? Proverbs chapter 19 and verse number 15. It reads, slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. It says slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep. You being slothful, yeah, that's also physical. You being slothful, you could spiritually go back to sleep. And that's deep on another level, because the Lord woke you up. You was already asleep. You was already dead in the world. You didn't know what was going on. You didn't know your nationality. You didn't know your heritage. You didn't know what the Lord requires of you. You didn't know what's his delight. You didn't know how to love the Lord. You was asleep. You was not awake. Then the Lord woke you back up. The Lord had to wake you up. But it says slothfulness shall cast you. Slothfulness casts up into a deep sleep. Next thing you know, you starting to go spiritually to sleep again. That's one of the worst ways to go out. You're just going back into the world. Through the slothfulness. You know you're not supposed to be doing whatever you do. And you know yourself better than I do. Everybody has different problems. Everybody doesn't have the weed demon. Some people have a lust demon on them. Some women, they have a chitty chatter spirit. Some women, they have a harlot spirit still on them that they battle with. Everybody has a different spirit. Some brothers, they have a lying spirit. They just can't stop lying. Everybody has a different spirit. Nevertheless, slothfulness, that'll get you back in the world. Slothfulness is one of the most top demons, in my opinion. It's top 5 in Israel. The lukewarm spirit. Like I said, when are you going to change? Reading on, it says, slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. So if you always idle, you're going to be spiritually dead. You're going to spiritually be hungry. And anybody would know on a physical level, when you're hungry, you're going to eat. On a spiritual level, if you're hungry, you have to eat. If you don't eat, you're going to die eventually. It says an idle soul shall suffer hunger. It's always work to be done. Whether that's calling up a sister, seeing how she doing. That's calling up a brother. That's writing down notes, going over the notes. Self-examination to kill time. A praying kills time, man. You want to know how to kill time? Go throw up some prayers. Next thing you know, 20 minutes then flew by. It says an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 12. Proverbs, chapter 12, and number 27. Proverbs 12 and 27. The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. And you want to make sure you're diligent. If you're not diligent and consistent, what are you doing? I mean, this is your last week. So, like I said, a lot of you men, you need a reality. The Lord needs to check. The Lord needs to check you. It's better to give it via the servants of the Lord than have for the Lord to reality check you. Because the Lord is not always going to have his mercy. I mean, you just playing him. Let me bring this out in Revelation, the 3rd chapter. The Lord is too nice, man. The Lord is extremely too nice. Eventually, that kindness, that loving kindness that the Most High has, I mean, that's only going to last for so long, man. Eventually, the Lord going to start, he going to get mad. I mean, that's with anybody. Let's say if a brother, I mean, he just going off. He just trespassing against you. He just offending you. He know it's not right. He just getting on you. He's constantly offending you. That brother that's getting offended, I mean, he's only going to turn the shoulder so many times. Now, the Lord said forgive him 70 times 7. That's meaning forever. But being realistically, he's in the flesh. That man, eventually, he's going to get fed up and going to have enough. How much more the Heavenly Father? That loving kindness is not always going to be here. That's where men just going to start dying at death. Right, let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 15. Revelation chapter 3 and 15. It says, I know thy works. So at the end of the day, I mean, the Lord knows your works, man. The Lord knows what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. I only know what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing. You might be, in England somewhere. You might be in Los Angeles. I don't know what you're doing. But the Lord said, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot, meaning you not on fire, but at the same time, you not, you're not cold. It says, I would thou were cold or hot, meaning the Lord wants you to be either one or the other. Verse 16, so then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. I'm going to read that again. I will spew thee out of my mouth. So the Lord wants you to be either cold or hot. You either on fire or you're not. The Lord, he doesn't deal with lukewarmness. You at your job, you know you're not supposed to be talking to the wicked Jake, and you damn holding conversations about him in the world. You talking worldly conversations. Every time that one brother come out, you stop being you put the Israelites on a hold. You don't act like an Israelite anymore. You just a nigga now. That's being lukewarm, man. You knowing you're supposed to be doing the will of the Most High, but you're not doing it. That's being lukewarm. You just lying all the time. Somebody asks you what's those fringes about. You just lying. You're being lukewarm. You putting the Most High and His truth on a back burner to watch the damn NBA playoffs and the NBA finals. You're being lukewarm, man. You taking the Most High, putting them on a back burner, and watching that YouTube video. Yeah, I mean, it's madness. You watching cooking videos on YouTube, car videos. That's off. You're being lukewarm. Then you wondering why you're not growing. I mean, look what you're doing, brother. You have to always be abounding in the work of the Lord. The Lord is not dealing with lukewarmness. The Lord will spew thee out of his mouth. Meaning the Lord would not, when you spit something out of your mouth, you're not dealing with it no more. And a lot of brothers and women, it's going to be too late. Then you're going to recognize what you truly had. How much you really, truly had. The riches, the everlasting life, the precepts, the wisdom. But it's going to be too late. So the slothfulness, it has to stop now. Let's go to the book. Man, it's a lot of, let's go to the book of Luke. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 14. Luke chapter 14. Right? This is the book of Luke chapter 14 and verse number 16. This is a beautiful parable. Luke chapter 14 and 16. It says, then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and set his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. So this man in this parable that's having a great supper that invited him is Yahushua. That's the point. When Yahushua invited these men, it said, and they with all one consent began to make excuse. Meaning these men were dealing with excuses. When a man is slothful, he's not just always. A lot of brothers, they not always going to be 100%. A lot of brothers going to say, oh, yeah, I'm good. Hey, I'm good. Man, hey, I'm mighty. No, you're not, brother. You're lukewarm. You don't want to be that man that always deal with excuses. Because if you're dealing with excuses, you're not dealing with accountability. If you're a woman, you always dealing with it. Where's the accountability at? These men, they was dealing with excuses. It reads, read on, and it reads, the first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and tell it, so I can go and see it. I pray thee, have me excuse. And that's a horrible excuse. Because why would you buy something you never seen? So that brother, he doesn't know what's going on. It says, verse 19, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen. and I go to approve them. I pray thee have me excuse. And that's another lazy excuse. Because why would you buy 5 oxen? You don't even know how they operate or they work. You don't even know, can they work good. You just bought 5 oxen. So that's a lazy excuse. It says, and another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. Because in the law, I believe if you marry a woman, you got to at least spend 1 year with that woman at your house, at home. And that's still a lazy excuse. Verse 21. So that servant came and shewed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. See that? And the Lord chiefly, he gonna choose somebody else, man. Now I want to jump down to verse number 24. This is the point. For I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. Meaning those men, they not gonna get the kingdom. Why? Because they wasn't on fire. They were dealing with excuses. You got a certain brother, you tell a brother, hey brother, you need to go out there and go labor. Yeah, man. I'm gonna get on that. I just been, man, I've been working, man. You know how it is. You know how it is. No, brother. The Lord said, go out there and labor. You got certain women, you need to, hey, sis, you need to do this. You need to work on your character. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. No, sister, you not. You not praying. You only pray 4 times, maybe 3 times on a good day. The fast is literally twice a week. It's like at 1 time every 2 weeks. The reading is poor. You don't get up in the morning. You study hitting your alarm on the snooze button. Hey, I mean, what are you doing? It is slothfulness, lukewarmness. Let's go to the book. And you just sitting on your talents. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. It's like I want to get this in the book of Luke. Let's go to the book of Luke. Let's go to the book of Luke. Again, this is your last week. You got to put yourself in the shoes like this is your last week. This is Luke chapter 19 and verse number 12. It reads, and he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. And if you in this truth, you have a talent, man. The Lord wants you to occupy. What does it mean to be occupied? To be busy with. You don't have time for idleness, for slothfulness to creep in. Certain men, they get off work, they literally just take a nap. They never get back up. You don't do no reading. You just eat and just take a nap. And then wake up in the morning. You might watch a video, but then go back to sleep. Then you get up for work in the morning. And you feel it on you. But you're not doing nothing about it. The Lord said you have to occupy yourself. This is a skill you have to have. You have to occupy yourself. I mean, you got everything you need. Your Bible, the Apocrypha, your shofar. I mean, the feast days. I mean, what else do you need to occupy yourself? You know how much, literally, in this whole book, you know how much is in there to occupy yourself with? You have Daniel, Numbers, First Chronicles, Jeremiah, Luke, Mark, 1st, 2nd Timothy. I mean, this is all you need. This is a lifetime's occupation. It's no specific time limit. Okay, I read the Bible 1 time. Hey, I'm done. You have to occupy till the Lord come. Reading on, verse 14. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we would not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was turned, having received the kingdom, then commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Verse 16, then came first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And he said unto them, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been very faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the Lord is given according to every man his works. So if you're putting out slothfulness, you're gonna reap that back. Reading on. And he said unto him, likewise, to him be thou over 5 cities. And another came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a knocking. Meaning this man was flat out lazy. Everybody else is working. And working is not just going on the highways and byways teaching. We just gonna say that. Where is your self-work? You know you got a heavy lying spirit on you. Are you gonna work on that spirit to get it off you? You know you got a lust demon on you. Are you gonna work to get that spirit removed from you? You know you don't show mercy. You have an evil eye towards your brother. Are you gonna work to literally remove that spirit off of you? So working is not just, you on your local corner shaking a hand. Now work, it starts internally. It starts with your spirit. You have to work on your spirit. You have to work on your character. It says, verse 21, for I fear thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, out of thy own mouth I will judge thee. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of brothers. A lot of brothers in that day, when it's time for the judgment to be set, the Lord is going to ask you, what have you done? He's going to bring up all the accounts before you. Why didn't you read this time? Unless you repent. Why didn't you read this time? Why didn't you help this brother out this time? Why didn't you do this time? Why were you getting too caught up with your job? Why didn't you go on this extra fast when you knew you wasn't doing anything? And a lot of brothers, what you better do, you better own up to it. Only thing is, if you own up to it, guess what? The Lord is going to judge you out of your own mouth. Why? Because you knew better. You women, you knew what you were supposed to. You knew you were supposed to be obedient unto your husband. You knew you were supposed to be burning, have your lamps burning and on fire. You knew you were supposed to be studying those precepts. It says, out of thy own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I lay not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore, then gavest not thou my money into the bank? At my coming, I might have required my own with usury. And he said unto him that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that have 10 pounds. And that's so deep in itself. Because the Lord, he going to start taking stuff away from brothers. The Lord is going to slowly start to strip you of the spirit. For you women, the Lord is going to slowly take stuff from you, man. He's going to start to take spiritual things from you. That's like your, you might have grown up, your mama was strict. If you ain't get good grades, things was getting taken from you, man. She might take your video game, your TV from you, your phone. That's how the Lord operates. Only thing is, the Lord is not going to take carnal things from you. The Lord is going to start to strip spiritual things. It was a brother, I know a brother, and he said the brother that brought him into the truth was on fire. Years down or months down the line, the brother hit him up and said, hey, what's the breakdown to Exodus chapter 20 and 2? Now, that's a common precept. Every brother and sister, you should know this. Exodus 20 and 2, he said, what's the breakdown to that? I forgot it. And you know the Lord stripped him. I mean, how can you forget Exodus 20 and 2? But the Lord will do that to you, man. He will strip you of your understanding. He will strip you of your knowledge. Now you forgetting Deuteronomy. Hey, what if you wake up one morning and you just forget the name of the Most High? You're trying to say it when you pray, you just forget it. Because you was slothful, lazy, lukewarm. What if you just stop wearing you just wake up one morning, you just stop wearing your fringes, man? What if the Lord strip you of his fear of the Lord? Next thing you know, anything you don't fear the Lord anymore. And the Lord will strip you spiritually. And do what? Reading on. Luke 19:24. And he said unto him, take from him the pound. So the Lord will spiritually strip you and do what? And give it to him that have 10 pounds. And this is nothing new, man. The Lord has been giving stuff to other men. And what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So this when you treat this truth like it's a garbage, because that's what you're doing. Now you might say, well, hold on. I really care about this. I really believe in this truth. Well, your actions is not showing it, man. We don't care about talking. Your actions is totally different from what you're saying. Yeah, you say you believe in this truth, but you're not reading. Yeah, you say you believe in this truth, but you're still hanging around worldly people. Yeah, you say you believe in this truth, but you don't know what's going on. Your actions is not showing it. So what the Lord is going to do, he's going to take that from you, and he's going to give it to somebody that deserves it. That's not going to take this for granted. That's not going to be lukewarm with this. That's not going to take advantage of the heavenly gift of salvation. And like I said, this is nothing new under the sun. The Lord has done this previous times in the scriptures. Let me get this in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2. The Lord did it with King Saul and David. The Lord stripped King Saul of the spirit and put the spirit on King David. Let me bring this out in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, and verse 1 Kings, chapter 2, and I want verse number 32. It says, and the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon the 2 men more righteous and better than he. And he slew them with the sword. Talking about Joab. So Joab he killed 2 men innocently. It says, and the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he. See that? So even Joab had men that was better than him. I mean, hey, don't think, you don't have anybody that's better than you. A lot of women say, man, I don't think she could really be better than me. No, it's women that's out there that's better. You don't know about them, but they're more righteous than you. They're more morally upright than you. They're more sincere. It's certain women, I have encountered, they just morally, they sincere. I mean, literally, they're pure, they're undefiled. There's certain brothers I met, they just morally upright. It's always the Lord has another man 10 times on fire than you in another city you don't know about. So Joab, he had men that was more righteous than him. It says, and slew them with the sword, and Joab killed those men. It says, my father David, knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. See that? So you have Abner and Amasa. They was better than Joab. And the Lord killed Joab. Let's go to the book of Numbers. Right? So this thing get deep, man. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 20. This Numbers chapter 20 and verse number 24. It says, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Now Aaron, he rebelled against the words of the Most High when it was at the rock. Now if Aaron, who's a Levitical priest, Aaron will be in the kingdom of God. I mean, everybody that descends from Aaron is a high priest. How much more for you that rebelled against the word of the Lord every day? The Lord telling you stuff in your mind. Don't do this. You know better than that. Don't do it. You just doing the lust of your flesh. The Lord tell you not to get on those sites at down 4 in the morning. You know that it's off. The Lord will say, don't do it. But you do it anyway. The Lord tell you not to pick up that blunt. But you do it anyway. The Lord saying, hold on, something's not right. Don't hang out with those men. You do it anyway. The Lord tell you as a woman, don't do that. Don't curse. You get out of the spirit. And you do it anyway. The Lord tell you, hey, you know you could go on that extra fast. But you don't do it. The Lord tell you, hey, throw up that extra prayer. This is the time you usually pray. Pray before you get up in the morning. Pray before you go to sleep. You just don't do it. You're rebelling against the word of the Lord. So it said, Aaron rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Verse 25, this was Aaron's punishment for rebelling against the Lord. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and bring them up into Mount Hor. What if the Most High told you to take, you might actually have a son in the truth. Hey, take you and your son and go to this place. It says, and strip Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered unto his people and shall die there. What if the Lord, now when it says he got stripped of his garments, that was literal, but you also have a spiritual garment, which is your understanding. What if the Lord told you to go down the street 2 doors over to a man in the yellow house, bring him to your house, and the Lord tell you, give him your Apocrypha, your Bible, all of your highlights, your highlighters, your pens, your Babylon and Timbuktu, your Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, your Rose Book maps, timelines, and charts, your breakdown journal, your frankincense and myrrh incense, your shofar, your fringes, your lion necklace that you have on that you always wear. What if the Lord told you to give everything to that strip and give him give him everything? Your Bible, all of that. A lot of men, you will be crying. You will be crying, man. The Lord say, hey, give this man everything. Your Bible, Apocrypha, note, pen, pad, frankincense and myrrh, damn incense, all of it. Give it to another man. Give it to the man 2 doors next to you in a yellow house. Cause you finna give up the ghost. Cause you not on fire. Hey man, I'll be scared, man. That'll be the day I completely break down. But once the Lord execute that, that's it. There's no getting that back. Once the Lord say, hey, it's done, it's over with. You have examples in the Bible. But who's actually going to read these examples and learn for themselves? What if the Lord told you you was slothful, you was a slothful woman, lukewarm, not doing your duties, not being righteous? What if the Lord said, go to so-and-so, drive to this place 15 minutes away. Take your hair wrap, your dress with the fringes on it, your daughter of Zion earrings, your Apocrypha, your Bible, your highlighters, and give it to this woman. She's better than you. You finna give up the ghost. A lot of women, they'll freak out, man. Then they'll start being on fire. Oh, snap. What do you mean give her my highlighter? What do you mean give her my hair wrap? My dresses? You got 14 pairs of dresses in your closet, and the Lord tell you to give your dresses to a woman that's better than you. Guess what? It'll be too late. That's why you gotta ask. What you gotta ask yourself: if this is your last week in the truth, would you still be slothful, lukewarm, ungrateful? Right? Reading on, verse 27. And Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there in the top of the mount, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. So Aaron got stripped of his garments. Amen. Hey, man, you better, you gotta stop playing with the Lord, man. The Lord will humiliate you. Aaron got stripped of his garments, and Eleazar was better than his father Aaron. Let's go to the book of Galatians, the 6th chapter. Right? Let's go to the book of Galatians. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6. Right? And verse number 8. Galatians chapter 6, verse 8. It says, for he that soweth to his flesh, of the flesh reap corruption. See that? So it says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. When you're slothful and you're not on fire and you're lukewarm, you're ultimately sowing to your flesh. You're doing fleshly works. Then you ask, man, well, I'm not like that sister, man. That sister, man, she all fire. She go through the precepts. You know, she got a good heart. Why am I not like her? Because you're slow in fleshly things. You got miss, man. Why am I not like that brother, man? That brother just, man, he on fire. Man, he's humble. He give alms. Why am I not like that brother? Well, brother, because you sow into the flesh. Guess what? You're going to reap corruption. You're going to reap slothfulness. If you sow not praying, you're not going to reap anything spiritually. Your prayer is not going to be heard. You're not sowing fasting, diligence, consistency, persistence. You're not going to reap none of those things. You're just going to be stagnant. Eventually, the Lord is going to take you away. It says, it's the point, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And then you have to sow spiritual things. You have to sow in those prayers, man. The more prayers you sow, ultimately, you're going to start reaping those prayers. Those prayers are going to be heard. You sow those fastings, then the Lord start removing those demons from you. You start sowing brotherly love, sisterly love. I say you got sisters, you got sisters in congregations, they do not even talk to their sister unless it's the Sabbath day. Then they all got spirits on them because they don't like them. And you got these one sisters, you know, I'm not going to say that they was getting into it because a damn sister didn't show, a sister wasn't feel like she was welcome. So they had an evil eye for each other for over weeks. You know how women is, they'll get simple sometimes. You got certain brothers, they don't call on they akim. Brother, you're not sowing spiritual things. They not giving to their communities. They not trying to break down the truth. You got certain men, they scared to break down to the truth. Break down the truth to somebody. Nah. She might say something. I ain't gonna break down the truth to her. I'm not gonna break down the truth to him. He might, man, that's been my friend, man. I ain't gonna say nothing. No, hey, brother, you gotta break down the truth. You have to sow spiritual things. Guess what? You're going to start to reap things of the spirit. Then you're going to start to find yourself growing. Next thing you know, now you remember the precepts. You in a situation, now you're remembering the precepts. Okay, James 1 and 12. Okay, James chapter 1 and 5. Okay, boom. I'm linking that up beside Rat 1 and 26. Now you linking things up. Now you going through, now all of a sudden you able to read, you're reading, you're understanding what you're reading now. Going into Revelation. Daniel. Not that that matters, but you're starting to find yourself spiritually increased. Next thing you know, you stop lying. You're not really dealing with that lust demon anymore. The slothful demon is not really attacking you like that. You're just in the spirit. Why? Because you sowing spiritual things. You're going to reap that. Let's go to the book of Luke. I want to get this parable in Luke, the 13th chapter. This Luke chapter 13, right? This is Luke chapter 13 at verse number 6. He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon and found none. And this certain man is Hamashiach Wamadak Yahushua. He's coming to this a fig tree represents a man, because trees are men according to the Bible. It says, and he came and sought fruit thereon. Meaning he was coming to this man for his works. Verse 7. Then said he unto the dresser of his vineyard, behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on his fig tree, and findeth none. So this man was lazy for 3 years. 3 years? And you got certain women, they come in, they don't get a dress until 3 years. Yeah, they knew about the truth, but the first 2 years, they was just still being a harlot. They was still doing what they wanted to do. Certain men, you was lukewarm for damn 2 years, man. Still hanging out with worldly men, doing the lust of the flesh, talking to women that you used to talk to in the world, still smoking, still drinking, being an alcoholic. What else? You was just off. The Lord said this man had have no fruit for 3 years. The Lord was seeking fruit from this man. It says, and find none. Guess what the Lord is? That's what the Lord said. He said, cut it down. Why cometh at the ground? Meaning, why is this man? Are you taking up space? And you don't want, if you're a man or woman in the truth, you don't want to be the man or woman that's just taking up space. Because eventually you're going to get rooted out. It's not all though. It's more. Verse 8. And he answering said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it. And that's Hamashiach, and that's Hamashiach from Malak Yahushua, man. That's the Most High's mercy. Why? Because this tree was already supposed to get rooted out. 3 years with no fruit. An average farmer, if he has a tree, average farmer into agriculture, if he has a tree, let's say he has a peach tree, 3 years it was no peaches on this tree or a fig tree. Eventually that farmer, he's gonna already let you know, yeah, this tree gotta go. Nevertheless, the Lord the Lord just got mercy, man. When are you gonna stop using the tender mercies of the Most High for your granted? You're just taking advantage of it. When are you gonna stop taking advantage of the Lord's mercy? Every time you're not on fire, you know you're not supposed to be doing something, but you do it anyway. You're taking advantage of the Lord's mercies. And the Lord didn't have to be merciful. The Lord could have just killed you. You just die. The Lord could have gave you the damn virus that's going around. You could have a stray bullet could have shot and killed you. When are you going to stop taking advantage of the Lord's mercies? it says, read on, it says, and if it bear fruit, well, and if not, then after that thou shalt cut it down. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 107. See, that's so, I mean, a lot of you men and women, you just doing the Lord just bogus. I mean, just straight up. You just spitting in his face. This is Psalms chapter 107 and verse number 43. It says, whoso is wise and will observe these things. Because when you read Psalms, the 107th chapter, Israel, they're going off. Then the Lord give them to the hand of their enemies. Then they cry out unto the Most High. Then the Most High bring them back. Then they go into sin again. Then they cry out and the Lord deliver them. Then they go back into sin. Then they cry out. Then the Lord deliver them. It's a never-ending cycle when you read Psalms, the 107th chapter. It's a beautiful chapter. But nevertheless, the point is, it says, whoso is wise. Meaning, who is wise? It says, and will observe these things. Even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord. And you being slothful and lukewarm, you don't understand the loving kindness of the Lord. I mean, you might say, well, hold on. No, the Lord is all merciful. He's gracious. I do understand. But your actions say totally different. You don't really understand the loving kindness of the Most High. Because if you did, you would stop being slothful. You would stop being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. What they got it called, they could call it backsliding. You do good for a moment, then you back watching those videos. You do good for a moment, then you back talking to so-and-so. You do good for a moment, then you just backslide again. You're taking advantage of the loving kindness of the Lord. That's why the Lord said, whoso is wise. Meaning a wise man will understand that the Most High doesn't have grace forever. So he's not gonna take advantage of the Lord. I mean, you gotta think about it. You know how many people say they love God? I mean, I'm led to believe there's over 1 billion people on this earth that say they love God. But you know how many people reject them? Let's bring that on in Titus. I mean, and that applies to the truth, man. You know how many people actually reject them in actions? This is Titus 1:16. They profess that they know God. Yeah, I know God. Man, I know the Most High. Hey, I love God. I love the Lord. But in works, they deny him. Be honest. Yeah, we put this on Christians. We put this on the local deacon, Deacon Johnson, at St. Mary's, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, Downhill Baptist Church. Yeah, we tell this to him. But this is really talking about you Israelites and the truth. They profess that they know God. Yeah, I know the Most High. I know my nationality. I know who I am. I know the commandments, the feast days, the day of Simon, the Pentecost, the new moon. But what? But in works, you deny God. Being abominable and disobedient, and into every good work, reprobate. And that's really, hey man, if you have a reprobate mind, it's over. The Lord didn't twist. You got a strong delusion on you. So again, you have to imagine this being your last week in the truth. Who's gonna really be on fire? Who's gonna go like it's their last day, like it's their last week? Who's gonna do all they can? And every day of the week should be your last week. You should be acting like it's your last week, because you don't know when you're gonna go, man. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, the classic. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9. Actually, I'm going to hold that. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse number 30. Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse number 30. It reads, hey, that's the spirit, man. That's the spirit. This Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. So King Solomon, he said he went by the slothful man. He went by the woman that was lukewarm. It says, and lo, it was all grown over with thorns and nettles, and had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. See that? So King Solomon, he said, I mean, it's nothing but thorns over here. Thistles. Every man and woman, you're a tree in this truth. You're supposed to bring forth life. You're supposed to be a tree planted by rivers of living water. Rivers of living water. But a slothful man or a slothful woman is going to be, on a spiritual level, it's going to be thorns and nettles. It's the point. Verse 32. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. So you could actually learn something from a slothful woman. You could learn not to do what she's doing. You could actually learn something from a slothful man. You could look upon him, bro. Oh, that man, yeah. That brother, he don't show up to camp. He only show up to camp. I know this one brother, he said the brother he was laboring with, I kid you not, he said the brother that he was laboring with called him 3 times a year to have camp. Right? 3 times out of the year to have camp, man. Right? And if he watching this, hey, you know who I'm talking about. 3 times a year this man want to have camp. Hey, you know it's nothing but thistles on that, man. So you could actually learn something from a slothful man. You can learn what not to be like and what not to do. It says, yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. That's all it take, man, really. Just a little sleep. 1 day off, that's all it take. It take for you 1 time to go off. 1 time to go back to that old man. 1 time to be lukewarm. And that's on a physical level as well. I say you got certain women and men, they get off work. They know they have a routine set up and a schedule. Okay, when I get off work, I'm going to get some chapters in. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over this with my wife, etc. But they go home, they eat, they fold their hands, and they just, oh, man, long day at work, man. Next thing you know, they going to sleep. And you know in that one SpongeBob, it's a 5 hours later. Next thing you know, it's time for them to get back up in the morning, and they ain't get no studying in. Then they want, damn, why am I feeling like this? Well, brother, you didn't read. Then you wonder why you out the spirit. Why you not examining yourself? All it takes is a little, literally, it says a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. And that's spiritual, but we talking about literal right now. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. And that's why I don't, I don't like going to sleep on a physical level. I mean, I don't like taking naps. I don't even like going to sleep. Because that's when Satan tries to attack me. Yeah, Satan might try to attack me right now, but I'm watching. I'm on guard. But as soon as I go to sleep, that's when all hell breaks loose for some reason. Spirits trying to hop on me while I'm asleep. Damn, sleep paralysis. Damn, sex demons. All hell breaks loose. That's why you got to be, that's why the Lord said in Proverbs, the 6th chapter, go to the ant, thou sluggard, and be wise. Consider her ways. Why? Because an ant, I never seen an ant sleep, bro. Not that you should literally get no sleep. No, you should get sleep. But you still got to be aware. I have never seen an ant stop working. And this truth is always more work to be done. Now let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse number 10. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. So whatever you're going to do, whether that's giving alms, showing charity, reading, via studying, fasting, prayer, etc., you have to do it with your might. You have to do it literally like it's your last day doing it. You have to do it like it's your last week doing it. It says what? It's going to tell you why. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom, and the grave whither thou goest. And that's the place where you're going to be heading, to the grave. Verse number 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. Meaning the Lord is going to jam you up when you least expect it. The Lord going to pop up on you when you least expect it. The Lord, only thing is, the Lord is going to see if you have integrity. Integrity is doing what's right even when no one is watching. Doing what's right. Let's say you just off. You just going off. You just into folly. You just kicking your feedback. Next thing you know, out of nowhere, your Akim just call you. They say so-and-so calling you. You kind of pick up the phone. He like, Shalom. Hey, Shalom. Hey, how you doing, brother? Are you all right? First thing you say is, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. Just getting some studying in right now. Just trying to stay diligent. Brother, you lying. You were just having your feet kicked up. A sister calling you. You was just out running errands all day. You didn't make no time for the Lord. You didn't even pray when you got up in the morning. You just went and ran errands. Then your sister call you and say so-and-so and so-and-so is calling. Then that little iPhone ring, that nasty iPhone ringtone pop up. Then you like, Shalom, sis. She say, Shalom. How you doing, sister? I'm just checking on sisters. Make sure they staying occupied in the spirit. Then you say, yes, sister, I'm mighty. No, you're not, sister. You running errands all day. You forgot about the Lord. You're not meditating on his laws. And that also takes time as well. So it says, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. See that? Let's go to the book. So this thing could happen. The Lord could pop up on you any second. So if your own brother's popping up on you unawares, how much for the most? Hey, I guarantee you, if the Lord just start doing pop-ups, a lot of men, hey, you will be out of there, man. The Lord just start doing pop-ups on you. Just pop up at your door. Yeah, what you doing? A lot of men, you will be caught out there. That's what the most I need to start doing. Just pop-ups. But instead of pop-ups, the Lord has actually sent specific angels. Let me get that in 2 Chronicles chapter 16. Let me get that in 2 Chronicles chapter 16 and 9. Instead of the Lord doing pop-ups, which he also does, but it's just when he pops up, he's snatching your spirit from you. But the Lord has actually sent specific angels to come out here and come down from the third heaven to see what you meditating on, to see if you in the spirit, if you're not in the spirit, to see if you engage in the works of the Most High, or if you engaged in the folly. Let's prove that. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 16. So even when man thinks no one is watching, guess what? Somebody is always watching. This 2 Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 9. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth. The eyes of the Lord are the angels. It says to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. So these specific angels are sent down from the third heaven to see who is thinking about the Lord, whose heart is perfect with the Most High, who's meditating on his statutes, his commandments, his precepts, the ordinances, how to treat you, literally going through the precepts. It says, herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore for hence thou shalt have wars. And these specific angels, one of these angels actually popped up on King Asa and said he was doing foolishly. So another question is, if the Lord popped up on you right now, will he have anything good to say about you? That's the real question. Now let's go to Sirach. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 38, and verse number 24. Ecclesiastes chapter 38 and 24. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 38 and 24. It reads, it says, the wisdom of a learned man coming by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. So another way for you not to be slothful and lukewarm, you have to have little business. And you can lose that little time that you have. Or I say this, a lot of reasons why brothers and sisters are not diligent is because they have poor time management. Your management shouldn't always, your time shouldn't always be going straight on your phone after work or straight on somebody else. Take that time that you have, utilize it, and put it forth to the work of the Lord. Take that little 2 hours, hey, use that for read. And inside those 2 hours, use that other 2 hours for study, for prayer. Take days out to fast. This stuff takes time, man. And with that being said, let me get Sirach chapter 43 and verse 30. So this is your last, this might be your last week in the truth. What are you going to do, man? Let's go to Sirach chapter 43 and verse number 30. When you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength. It don't say be lukewarm. It says put forth all your strength. It don't say it says put forth all your strength and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. Meaning you can never serve the Lord enough, man. So this might be your last week in the truth. The question is, would you be on fire or would you still be slothful? So with that, we give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Most High willing, you continue to read, pray, fast, and study, and most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercies. With that, I'm going to say shalom.